How many of you hark back to those good old golden days when you used to cherish all those moments we spent in the toilet, especially the long toilet in our colloquial language? And you know what? Going to toilet and sitting there long enough, making plans, recounting old memories, and often getting a sense of temporary nirvana. Wasn't that amazing? Especially when the exams are at the door. Every time it was such a fun and such a nice feeling to go to toilet. Do you even have a scintilla of such feelings these days? Well, I bet no. Especially after the advent of this little monster, which we fondly call it a mobile phone. We all have started losing that immense pleasure of being there in the toilet. Presiding officer, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests, today I might sound yucky and pukey, as I'm going to share with you some of the experience which deals with our own toilet practices. And this is somehow an elephant in the room. Everybody knows it, everybody does it, but nobody shares it. Okay? And also please note that I'm not talking about bathing. It's strictly about number two. We all know number one and number two, right? All right. So please allow me to share a few contemporary toilet stories, which are just not hilarious, but also signifies a paradigm shift in our toileting process. It was just a day before yesterday, as usual, and as it happens to everybody. I had an early morning urge of bowel movement, and I rushed to the toilet and sat on the commode after all these ritual processes. But at that very moment, suddenly my bowel started giving up. It was not cooperating with me at all. It was not just happening, and I started feeling that something was missing. My hands were asking me, hey, what should I do? I've never been free like this. Then came the moment of realization. I just forgot to bring my mobile phone with me. I was taken by surprise by the realization as well as the finding that it is not that fibrous food that makes you a quick and hassle-free number two, but it's the mobile phone which effectively acts as a natural laxative. I was amazed to understand how this very new phenomenon has even started defying the theory of relativity. It feels like you are sitting on the commode for ages if you forget your mobile phone. And more than that, it suddenly gives you a realization that number two is a sheer waste of time if you don't do multitasking. And the young generation, let's say the generation alpha, they don't have any idea of how the number two can be done without a mobile phone in your hand. It's like a toilet paper, or even more than that for them. Without toilet paper, it's okay. But without phone, it ain't gonna happen. And there was a survey done in UK as to how many people take their mobile phone to the loo. Well, it's a staggering 50%. And almost 4% of them even took the game console along with them in the toilet. These joysticks and all, right? Oh my God. Just imagine pooping and playing game. And you may like this as well. Almost 40% of them confessed that they dropped their mobile phone down the commode while pooping. Just imagine how difficult it would be to retrieve that phone. And I'm sure you all know the Murphy's Law, right? Whatever drops in the toilet, it's heavily likely that it goes straight down to the commode. Okay, so let's get into the serious business. Is that all okay? Of course not. And this led me to do some research on this. And let me tell you 3 things which makes use the cell phone in a toilet a complete no-no. In 2017, there was a study on a high school student's cell phone in United Kingdom. And the study revealed that the phones are the safest haven for the E. coli and other microbes, bacteria. And in the same year, the University of Arizona came up with another finding that the cell phone carries more bacteria than our commode itself. So fellow Toastmasters, next time when you use others' phone, just remember that it is as good as resting your head on somebody else's toilet commode. And if that is not enough, another survey has revealed that overstaying at commode and giving unnatural pressure to your bowel may cause anal hemorrhage, which might lead to various types of health issues. And one more, the cell phone has created a new habit of using only one hand during the entire process, which is utterly unhygienic. So, my fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, I urge you to be resolute to give up the habit of using cell phone during your toilet time. It's not utterly unhealthy practice for you, but also might lead to the serious health consequences. And I'm sure after all this toilet monologue, you'll remember me every time when you are in the loo with your mobile phone in your hand. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster.